Becky Liddon, I'm founder of Sensory Spectacle. This video is part of a series where I'm answering your questions about sensory processing difficulties. I've been given questions from parents and professionals, and it's all to help create a better understanding and awareness of sensory processing difficulties. Share the videos with your friends and families and colleagues, but also subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you don't miss any. Our fourth video in our Winter Home Life series is explaining why some people with sensory processing difficulties might find it difficult during social events, social situations, and why you might see someone who really enjoys being in their own space and being in their own room. Now, it's a really great coping strategy for a lot of people with sensory processing difficulties to spend time in their room. It's a space that's their own. It's a space where they can regulate the sound, the visual, the tactile, the body awareness, the things they can do in their room to give their body what it needs without thinking about everything else that's going on around them. So it's a really great space where they can help themselves, support themselves to feel really good. It's a safe space. Social situations, whether it's a family gathering, whether it's a big party, we need to think about all of the people there. Do they have an understanding of how someone likes to be greeted? So for people who might be hypersensitive to tactile input, they might find handshakes or kisses on their cheeks when you greet someone really overwhelming. So is there a rule where you have a wave to say hi, or something else where there isn't that tactile input, which can be really difficult for some people with sensory processing difficulties? Think about the sounds of the auditory input, maybe the social anxiety of needing to, feeling like they need to have conversations with family members. It might be that they're able to regulate themselves to be able to do that for a short period of time, but to be there for a whole afternoon can be really exhausting. So offering a place where they can go just to be able to relax. It's something that we all do. It's just for people where we recognise difficulties in regulating their sensory input, we need to offer environments and strategies to help to support them. So some children may love the idea of being at a party, but we might recognise that they tire really easily, that maybe they become a little bit crabby or tired or frustrated, niggly, because of maybe the other sensory input that they're trying to regulate. So it might be the visual input, it might be the smell input, it might be the body awareness. And sometimes we don't often think about the breakdown of the sensory aspects when we're thinking about events. And the social side of things can be really overwhelming for people who are aware of how they're supporting themselves in their environment. Don't forget that when we're thinking about supporting people with sensory processing difficulties, having conversations about it is a really great thing to be able to do. But for some people, we need to think about the language that we use to do that. So can we use language which reflects their experiences of their sensory processing difficulties? So I once supported a young man who described a food to be spiky. Now, it wasn't the texture, the spikiness was actually the intensity of the flavour of that food. So that's why I say the language that we use, we need to make sure the person we're supporting, whether it's a child, whether it's an adult, is able to recognise what we're supporting them with, what language, what communication we're offering to help them. We also want them to know that they can take themselves off and they can be in their own space and be able to just regulate themselves, so do something to help them to enjoy that environment as well. Not everyone loves to have a conversation, so when we're thinking about supporting people with sensory processing difficulties, how else can we engage people with social situations that isn't necessarily just through a verbal conversation?